will be using heavy armaments like tanks and artillery, which usually means that in an urban area, the cost in human life is going to be just phenomenal, just tragic. It's to be expected that a country at war would want to reduce casualties among its own soldiers, but carrying such warfare in an urban area, in basically an overpopulated area like Gaza with 2 million people, means that artillery will be killing people indiscriminately. I think tanks will be marching through basically residential areas within the Strip. This is not army against army, army fighting in urban area, which means that Israel's probably already calculated the costs, and that it considers, of course, always that the ends justify the means, but in fact they don't in international law.
Marwan, just quickly, is there a military solution to the Israel-Gaza conflict as we hit day 7 of the war?
Well, we certainly know from the past 20 years of 4 wars. We know from 55 plus years of occupation and 70 years of dispossession and a century-long conflict between Zionism, later Israel, and the indigenous people of Palestine, that military solutions don't lead except to more military problems and greater tragedies and a more polarized conflict as we see today. A century later, the logic of military solutions have failed, and 4 wars since 2008 has certainly failed. Israel believes, and I think this is the statement that everyone needs to keep in mind, Israel believes that if force doesn't work, more force will work. Well, I have news for the Israeli military. The lessons from history is no, it does not work. Not in this kind of a setting, not in a colonial setting. If Israel wants to live in peace on the long term in this region, in Palestine, in the Middle East, in the Arab and the Muslim world, military solutions are not going to be the solution for it to survive and prosper in this area. It's going to simply lead to more bloodshed, more tragedy, and more conflict in the years to come.
OK, we appreciate your insights. Marwan Bashara, Al Jazeera's senior political analyst, joining us from Paris. Let's bring in Moti Abu Mosba. He is a Gaza resident and joins us live. We aren't able to show you a picture of him because it's not safe to do so, so he's joining us via audio only. Moti, thanks so much for speaking to us, given the current situation that's unfolding. Paint a picture of what life is like for you right now.
Yes, first of all, thanks for having me. Actually, the situation here in Gaza is indescribable. The words, I have no words to describe this kind of ongoing slaughtering and massacre committed against the Palestinian people here in Gaza Strip. It's unimaginable. As you know, I have lived and experienced six wars before, and honestly, I haven't seen or experienced anything like this. What is going on is unprecedented. For the 6th day in a row, the Israeli war crafts have been targeting areas in Gaza Strip. All areas in Gaza Strip have been targeted by the Israeli occupation war crafts and war jets. Multiple residential neighborhoods have been totally wiped off the map. We are talking about hundreds of the Palestinian families have been totally erased from the civil registry. So we are talking about a genocide committed left, right, and center against the Palestinian people in full view of the international community and the whole world. The number of the Palestinian people who have been killed so far actually exceeded 1,500, in addition to more than 8,000 of the Palestinians have been injured and wounded so far. And these numbers are incrementally and dramatically increasing as the Israeli occupation continues its crimes and its airstrikes against Gaza. And these numbers also are highly expected to be to rise.
Yes, well,
the
Moti,
Israeli
as we were
occupation
just
to
speaking
silence.
to you, there have been strikes that we're hearing on air from our live picture coming from Gaza. Could you explain to us what the situation is in terms of supplies? What do you have at home? Do you have enough supplies to keep you going, and for how long?
Yes, actually, literally, the Palestinian people here are trapped between Iraq and a hard place. At the same time, they have been targeted by the Israeli airstrikes. They are suffering from the lack of the basic humanitarian basic needs. They have no access to the basic needs. And as you know, that from the first day of this aggression, the Israeli authorities shut the crossings and prevented any entry to Gaza, into Gaza Strip, including the water, including the electricity, the fuel, which really exacerbates the situation and put Gaza and put more than 2 million Palestinians here in Gaza inside an ongoing catastrophe, let me say. So this is the situation. The people here and the suffering of the people is exacerbating with the time. Every hour the situation is getting worse. With this situation, the Israeli occupation is still insisting on turning a blind eye to these needs and to the humanitarian conditions. I think that what is going on is really difficult. It's so dire and it's undescribable.
Moti, what's your message to people watching at home all over the world who are trying to comprehend life for Palestinians right now? What do you want them to understand?
Yes, actually, the Palestinian people here are being killed, and the Israeli occupation wants to kill the Palestinian people here in silence. And so the main responsibility that they need to endure is to raise the voice of the Palestinian people, to let the people understand what is going on, and to expose the reality of the Israeli crimes that are being committed against the Palestinian children. We are in front of 500 Palestinian children were slaughtered in the cold blood by the Israeli strikes after they bounded their houses and their homes over their heads. So these crimes actually mount clearly to be war crimes and to be against the humanity crimes. So their responsibility is to exert more pressure on their governments, on the other hand, to exert more pressure on the Israeli occupation, to oblige the Israeli occupation to stop this kind of ongoing slaughtering practiced against 2 million Palestinians here in Gaza.
Okay, we appreciate your insights, particularly given it's such a horrific time. Moti Abu Mosba, a Gaza resident, joining us live there. Israeli forces have killed at least 14 Palestinians in the occupied West Bank on Friday. Palestinians have gathered in several places, including near the illegal settlement of Beit El, to protest in support of Gaza. Since Saturday, at least 49 Palestinians have been killed in the occupied West Bank, either by Israeli forces or settler attacks. Imran Khan is outside a hospital in Ramallah.
All throughout the day, we've seen ambulances arrive here from various demonstrations in the occupied West Bank. This ambulance is actually arriving with a critically injured person. You can see everybody, all the medics get around. Now, what the EMTs are telling us is that the types of injuries that they're seeing are from live fire. And they say that there is an excessive use of force against Palestinians. Normally, the Israelis would use rubber-coated steel bullets, they would use tear gas, but now it seems that they are using live fire against the protesters. Now, right now, the hospital says it's not overwhelmed, but it is worried that if things escalate, it could simply become overwhelmed. Imran Khan, Al Jazeera, Ramallah.
Okay, stay with us as we bring you more coverage